number two is lifestyle is key for actualizing vibrant health and hormonal balance. And I'm going to share my screen in a minute, giving an overview about some of the distinctions between your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system, and also the intimate relationship between cortisol and your yin feminine sex hormones like estrogen and progesterone. And so you can do all of the body work, like all of the vitamins, all of the best nutrition in the world, but if you don't address lifestyle, this is so foundational, and you continue to live in a stress response most of the time, you're going to be depleting your finite reserves of especially progesterone and estrogen to some degree as well, although that can be converted from progesterone. And those naturally decline in perimenopause and significantly more after full-blown menopause, which the average age is around 51 for women. And that's okay. So eventually your body's just not ready to have a baby anymore. Although I work with women that have babies very healthily in their 40s. Totally possible. It's a complete myth that goes away at 35. That was based on really bad science. But we do need to support that. And we want to always take care of any ways reacting in the stress response, because that will not only deplete our feminine sex hormones, it will also tank out our adrenals and kidneys over time, meaning they will be under functioning. And usually this happens over many years. And those organs are going to be primarily responsible for taking over reproductive functioning within the body after menopause. So it's critical to take care of those organs for years leading up to menopause. And that's a classic reason why there's a lot of uncomfortable symptoms that can show up throughout perimenopause and full-blown menopause as well, like hot flashes, unexplained weight gain, chronic fatigue. And so I feel like women at all ages benefit from like preparing for themselves for that time. And Ayurvedic medicine actually has no negative connotation with menopause. So that is possible. And meaning it can be very smooth. It can actually be an empowering rite of passage for every woman. And so just to give you a bit of details and visualization, this is a picture. Looks like it's working on my end. Can everybody see that? So we're looking at the parasympathetic nervous system, sympathetic nervous system. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And so some of this is small, but essentially we cannot digest food when we're in the stress response. So no matter how beautiful of an organic meal we have with the correct nutrients for our body, it's not going to be absorbed if we are in the stress response. So, and that I'll get into that in a minute too. That's the reason why mindfulness eating is so important. And it increases your quality of life and joy. And this is a rest, digest, heal response, your parasympathetic, and sympathetic is fight, flight, or freeze, stress response. Glucose is stimulated to be released by the liver when you're in the stress response. And so you can have sugar cravings. You feel like you need that immediate gratification. Sometimes there is, imbalance with your glycemic levels. You are going to have salivation that's inhibited, again, decreasing your body's ability to naturally digest your food. Your pupils are going to dilate. Whereas in contrast, when you're in rest, digest, heal mode, you can digest fully and easefully. Your vagus nerve is connected, a cranial nerve, from your brain to your gut. It's not switched off. You're inhibiting adrenaline production. Your gallbladder is stimulated. Your heart rate decreases. So this is where you want to be like 95% of the day. And wherever you are, again, most of my women do not start off there. It's like the complete opposite, maybe 95% of the days in the stress response. But I just want to bring this to your attention. Sometimes just knowing about that, you immediately start to shift to what you need. And then the direct correlation by one of my favorite hormonal health doctors, Claudia Welch, and she's well known in the Ayurvedic world. is that when there's not enough raw material to make both like stress hormones and sex hormones, your physiological response is always going to go to survival, whether we want to or not. So it's going to prioritize making cortisol. But we have finite levels of progesterone in the body. And this I've seen missed like thousands of times. This is one thing that I always do with herbal medicine to get women on hormonal normalizers and get their progesterone back up to healthy biodynamic levels. But it can't return the favor, meaning that you can't suddenly shapeshift cortisol back into progesterone once the stress has gone away. I find it takes months to really naturally increase your progesterone, and that does happen over time, but that's not an instantaneous switch. But if you're under chronic or extreme stress, you can imagine, like, right, it's just like this hamster wheel, it keeps going and going. And then, you know, cortisol can hang out in the belly as well, like that extra 10, 15 pounds that won't go away, just kind of constantly feeling the survival response that can contribute to anxiety, panic attacks, overwhelm, insomnia. So again, it's okay, but you know, understanding what's going on underneath the surface and why lifestyle matters. And here are some classic ways that you can get back into that parasympathetic safety response, feeling, okay, I'm in rest, digest, heal. So facial expression matters, you know, connecting with people that you feel a sense of genuine love and connection, tone of voice, you know, being calming and peaceful, feelings of connection, which I think we're still recovering from after COVID, although I find there's a lot more genuine connection happening. But I think we had to really work at reclaiming that for ourselves, but that's important. All of the arts, singing, chanting, dancing. I like to take little samba breaks throughout the day. It's really good for reducing back pain, increasing stability, but also just to, you know, free yourself of stress. Don't let it hang out when it starts to build up. Physical touch, however that is meaningful for you. So your massage is fantastic. And because you feel like your body, you know, is here and alive, connected. Time in nature always works. You know, it's like this huge battery pack that never needs recharging. There's just this abundant overflow, and you can just plug yourself in and restore. And inclusion, feeling included for who you are, and finding spaces where you're seen and loved and acknowledged. So there's others as well, but those are a few that absolutely work.